And we're live.
Hello, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Quick disclaimer, nothing we say on this stream should be considered as financial advice. It is for entertainment and educational purposes only. We have a really good show for you today. We have Jenna X as our guest, so you don't want to miss that. If that sounds good to you, don't forget to smash that like button. Mr. Dip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Not too bad at all. The deep freeze here in Ontario has lifted a little bit. It's not so bad compared to the way it was the last few days anyway. It's hard to believe that -9 feels comfortable compared to what it was the last couple of days.
Yeah, it was definitely noticeable.
That's for sure. Okay, well, let's jump right into the market watch. Here we are in trusty old coin market cap. Currently, we have a market cap of $1.63 trillion, 24-hour volume of 63 billion. That has obviously come down a little bit from what it had been last week or so. But today, with the markets being down, that's understandable. Bitcoin dominance has dropped. It's down to 49.6%, and Ethereum dominance is up to 18.2%. Ethereum gas, 24 GUI will get you an Ethereum transaction. If we look at a couple of prices here, we got Bitcoin in at 41,237, up a little bit now from what it was earlier. Ethereum, 2,465. We got Solana coming in at $94.28 and XRP at 55 cents currently. We'll move over here to the rainbow chart. As you can see, we're still in this same zone here, accumulate. So anyone who isn't taking advantage of the market right now by accumulating as much as they possibly can, well, when the bull run does hit full force, you have no one to blame but yourself, because there's been a lot of time to accumulate. We'll head over to crypto bubbles. All we can see today is pretty much a sea of red. A few Hex ecosystem things are up, like for example Hex itself, Pulse Chain, but everything else pretty much a sea of red. That's pretty much it for the crypto market watch anyway. Not too much going on. Markets are a little bit stagnant.
Yeah.
Obviously traditional markets as well, same thing, nothing really much going on there. So we'll skip right ahead to the headlines. Now, for anyone that hasn't been following, you've been living under a rock. The Bitcoin ETFs were approved last week by the SEC, and just some numbers here that we've seen over the last week. It surpassed 1.74 billion in the first hour of trading, 4.5 billion in the first day of trading, and then it hit 9.4 billion in the first 3 days of trading, which was pretty incredible. Now, BlackRock themselves, they actually hold just over 1 billion themselves for their ETFs, which is an incredible amount of money. That's crazy when you think about it. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention as well. Which one is it? Grayscale has been dumping a lot of their ETF stocks or their positions, which I knew it would happen. Actually, Corey and I had talked about this earlier, that they had been waiting for the ETFs to be approved, so that, well, we were expecting a lot of people to dump, because they're probably up from when they actually bought those way back when. I believe it was a year ago or something like that.
Yeah, and also we got JennaX dumping their Bitcoin futures ETFs and etc., which I do believe's contributing to today's dump. It's both Grayscale and JennaX now. It looks like they're dumping their Bitcoin from their other ETFs on the market and then rebuying over the counter, not to affect the price. So it looks like there's a little bit of price manipulation going on, and eventually it'll catch up and we'll see things go in the right direction, because you see with all the buying that is going on, it should be relating on the charts at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it was a staggering number, like something like 65,000 Bitcoin or something like that.
Well, it was, I believe, the Grayscale, they were the largest holder of Bitcoin before the spot ETFs, second to Satoshi. And yeah, and yeah, the Van Eck is another big investment firm, so that'll put a bit of downward pressure on temporarily as well. But supply and demand, it will equate in the price eventually. They're just playing games, getting their prices right, and it probably wasn't stipulated in their SEC approval on how they have to buy and sell. So
Right.
smart in their end. It kind of hurts for us investors waiting, but I can't see it lasting more than a couple weeks.
Well, I'll have a quick look here at the Bitcoin chart so we can see exactly what happened today. I kind of have an ascending broadening wedge here, but yeah, you can see a little bit of a dump today. Nothing too major. It's only 3.23% on the day, and it is holding support there on that broadening wedge on the daily chart. So, I mean, it's not terrible considering how much was dumped on the market, but you know, one other thing I wanted to bring up as well. I'm not sure if a lot of people heard, but there were posts going around that $60 billion worth of XRP was brought onto exchange Bitfinex. Everyone was kind of wondering what was going on there, and it turns out it was actually an attempted hack. There was an exploit, but Bitfinex caught it, and the would-be hackers only got away with just a couple of XRP. So good on them and their security to catch that. That could have been catastrophic if true. I'm not sure exactly what the entire story is, but yeah, it's something weird.
That was half the circulating supply of XRP that was attempted. So yeah, that was a huge chunk, and a strange story to go behind the hack.
That could have been devastating, that's for sure. Okay, I guess, well, this week we have our Smash or Pass. It's been a few weeks since we've done it. And we have Crypto Cruiser. He did a video on IMX. And so that will be our Smash or Pass for the week. We're just going to watch this quick presentation that he had done up. And then we will figure out if we're going to smash it or pass it.
Do you have the video there?
Oh, no, I do not.
Neither do I.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I thought you had it queued up.
No, I don't have it queued up.
No, I didn't have it. I didn't have it. Well, I guess we can just get Crypto Cruiser up to explain it himself. He did all the research on it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Crypto Cruiser, how are you?
I am doing all right.
We're wasting all your hard work here and not being prepared. So my apologies to you.
That is okay, because I think if you just give me 10 seconds, I could find that video.
Excellent.
Perfect. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one because we were supposed to play it last week, and then we had the it ended up just being kind of an ETF special. And the week before that, we were hacked by the Matrix. So it was cut off halfway through. We didn't get to actually play the entire video. So I've been wanting to learn a little bit more about IMX myself.
Well, I'm hoping I can find it here. A little bit unprepared myself here. I know I did send it, so it should be. Shouldn't be hard to find.
We have our decent roundtable collecting down below. Can't wait to bring all you gentlemen up. We have Juan, Corby, and Chart so far. Love hearing the perspective of all the guys down there. Now, one thing, Dip, about the ETFs that I want to make a note of while Cruiser is queuing up the video is there was a lot of people in the market that were assuming that the ETFs being approved was going to be huge for the market and that Bitcoin was just going to pump sky high. And that wasn't the case. I think there was a lot of people a little bit surprised that it didn't happen. But anybody who's been in the space for a while and educated on how things work pretty much had an idea that wasn't going to happen. I mean, there was going to be an initial green candle, which there was, but it wasn't going to be a moon candle by any means.
Well, I don't see it personally as a sell the news event. I think what's happened is everybody was assuming that all the buying was going to be on market buying, not the OTC buying from whales and miners, etc. And I know myself, I didn't take into effect that like Grayscale and Van Eck and their futures holdings would be dumped on the market because I believe the rates on them were like 1.5% service rates for them. And you get the BTC spot for around, I think they're all averaging around like 0.25%.
Right.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of people swapping, and then they know everything's dollar for dollar. And I do believe a lot of the futures they bought at like 40%, what do they call it? Reduction in price. And then with the spot ETFs, it's par with. We had a little bit of a brain fart on the actual name for that, but yeah,
words,
it was bought
usually words.
Yeah.
Guys, I got the video queued up for you whenever you're ready to go.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'll start it up here. So we have IMX as our smash or pass coin of the week. Oh,
No sound.
There is no volume.
I think this video is causing all the matrix attacks.
Yeah, that's really strange that there's no video, no sound.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody, but that's what you get when you have live streams.
Yeah, it's the difficulty with a live stream. You can't have everything recorded beforehand and edited all beautiful. Everything's pretty raw.
Well, how about you play the video, Crypto Cruiser, and then just kind of narrate?
Okay, yeah, I could do that. I hope I can keep up with the video. It's been a little while since I watched this. Let me just find. I have notes here for it somewhere. No, I can't find my notes on it either. Go figure. There's something against us playing this video, Rexy. It's been 3-4 weeks now that we haven't been able to pull this off. And I'm not sure why. And now my video's frozen. It won't let me push play. Okay, right. That just isn't meant to be. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, I was going to initially smash IMX, but I think because of all the technical difficulties, I think that might be a little bit of a hint to pass it.
Yeah. I'm a bag holder, but I'm going to pass it too, just because it's given us so much grief. I'm selling it all.
It really has. I kind of like it. I held it before I really knew what it was all about, and I like it even more now. But it's too bad. We'll get this video working one of these times. Maybe next week.
Maybe we'll try again next week.
I'll have to revisit it and figure out why the audio didn't come through. I hadn't watched it after I sent it to you guys, so of course I only saw it as I was recording it.
It's looking like it's possibly a bit rate issue, why it's freezing up and everything. So we'll have to figure out a solution for that. Maybe get it sent over to me, and then I'll do it from my end, so there's not as much congestion on the network.
Yeah, it's probably because it compressed it when I tried to send it via email.
Okay.
So,
not a big deal. Not a big deal. Now I'm noticing that I think Miss Jenna is having technical difficulties, so I'm pretty sure maybe we should just go right to the roundtable, bring up the panel, and then if she's able to. What's that?
Yeah, let's share her socials.
Okay, yep, I'll do that right now. For anyone that's watching and wants to follow along, I'll start off with her Twitter. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Nope. What is going on? Here we go.
There we go.
Okay, so here's Jenna's Jenna X. This is her Twitter page. Make sure you subscribe to the one or follow the one with the blue check mark. There's a lot of fake accounts under her. So if you want to follow her Twitter account, she's very active on there. Obviously doing a lot of good information. Here's her what's that? The Trader Wars, that a competition that she's involved in right now. And then if I go over to her YouTube, she's got a YouTube channel as well, JennaX on YouTube, and got a lot of shorts and good content on here as well. A lot of guests and different things on there for you to check out. So she's definitely someone to follow. What's that, Dip?
She's a very entertaining follow. She has a good sense of humor when it comes to the meme coins. So yeah, I suggest everybody go and give a follow.
All right.
So we'll just go right to the roundtable, and hopefully she's able to get logged in.
All right. Welcome, Juan. Corby, good for you. Good to see you. Glad you can join us. And of course, Mr. Chart Davidson. How are you, gentlemen?
All right. How are you guys?
Doing good, Juan. Doing good. Corby, how you doing?
Speed bumps.
Doing good. No complaints here other than it's been wicked cold the past week.
Yeah, I hear you there, brother. Chart Davidson, how are you, sir?
Doing okay. It seems like everything was a ruggy today, so I feel for you. There's always something going on with any of the streams, right? Even our space today somehow rugged the host, and it was pretty funny because he was texting me the whole time, and it's just a comedy show behind the scenes. So I get the pain, believe me.
Yeah, it's funny though because he's not one to really talk anyway. So I just thought he was being quiet, but then I found out after that he actually couldn't speak, which was kind of funny. I don't. Well, you know how it is with live streams, especially when you're a new channel. You're always going to have these technical difficulties. Now, see the problem I think with the video, just so you guys know, is Crypto Cruiser. Oh, there we go. Crypto Cruiser and I are actually in the same household, so we're on the same Wi-Fi, using the same stream and everything. So it's probably slowing things down or causing an issue. That could have been part of the reason the other week why things were really bad on the stream. But then again, yeah, Dip, you had the same problem as well.
Yeah, the other week it was province-wide.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm a few hours away from your household.
Yeah, just a few.
But the same internet provider.
Well, even with Jenna, it's too unfortunate that she wasn't able to get on here. But the topic was going to be trading strategies, so we'll stick with that theme, and we'll go around the horn here and seeing what everybody's trading strategies are. Just the basics and what they look out for and how they use their charts and stuff. So we'll start off with Juan. Just give us a little rundown on your trading strategy.
Well, I think with any strategy, doing your own research plays a huge role.
Oh, we lost him. Are you kidding me?
Yes, we did.
Well, Corby, by default, you're next.
Blacklisted.
That's just how easy his strategy is. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Tails.
What's your strategy? I'm just going to leave.
I'm back.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
Well, yeah, we'll go back one.
That was pretty funny one. That was amazing. Yeah. Like, that was a great strategy, though. I gotta give you that.
Perfectly timed. That's how you become a winner, right?
Yeah.
So research, right? I think that if you're beginning, I think that you have to kind of have a couple of coins or pairs that you're really into, know about it, believe in it, do your research. I think that people who are trading without knowing what they're trading, doomed to fail. So definitely learning about what you're trading plays a huge role. Taking a course, nothing wrong with looking up videos and researching RSI and and deviation and pivot points and all that other stuff is all great, but can also be very overwhelming. But starting something simple like the RSI, I think, is probably one of the easiest ways to kind of get started into trading. And that's the simplest strategy that I start off with when I'm trying to learn about a pair, whether it's Forex, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Sol. The RSI kind of gives you that basic, and I'm gonna leave it there. I know you have tons of people who have their own versions, but I like to start with an RSI and getting that research done.
Okay, fair enough. Corby, you're up, Mr. Trader Extraordinaire.
I mean, I'm really basic. I mostly just look at candle structure and your really traditional chart patterns. The reason I do that is because that's when you're going to have the most confluence, because every other professional trader knows how to recognize those patterns. So that's why they play out. It's kind of a monkey see, monkey do scenario.
Right.
So, yeah, the psychology behind trading.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like even people always say, they're like, well, bots have no human emotion. Well, when humans dump on the market, the bots act the same way that humans do. So technically it's the same scenario.
Well, there are humans that program those bots. So of course.
Yeah, that's true too. So, other than that, I've been trying to get more into learning how to use screeners too. So in Market Masters, we've been working on one for 6 months now. So that's pretty cool.
How is that going anyway?
Right now, we're just yesterday opened up our alpha test for the NFT holders to start playing around with it, just so we can work out all the UI bugs and nitty gritty, but really well. So
good. Yeah, you guys have put in a lot of time and a lot of hours developing that, and I'm glad to see it's coming along really well.
Yeah, it's been exciting, and it's like Sherlock has done such an amazing job with it that even it's kind of to the point where he doesn't know how to fully utilize it because there's so much information there, which is a pros and cons to it.
One thing I do love as well is Sherlock always appeals to the community on different ideas and things they want added or the appearance, stuff like that. So I really like that he's getting the input from the community.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big thing too. If anyone's been in even our Telegram channel, is that, I mean, speaking of a great place for people to kind of learn how to trade, that's a great place to go, because everyone's really good about posting charts, and if someone has a question about, hey, why you're taking this trade, it's very well explained. And that's a really good way to learn too, because a lot of times when you're learning how to trade, you're seeing all these people talk about all these things, and you're like, well, I don't know what any of this means.
Like most people.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of a great place to learn how to trade, the DGens Discord is a great place. Chart, what's your trading strategy?
Thanks for the shout out. So for me, I became more of a swing trader. I feel like that's like the pace that I like, and I can kind of recognize the macro markets a lot better than the micro markets, because micro markets are more fluid, and like day to day, you need a lot of information, right, to digest for a short time frame. So, but I do like leverage trading as well, only in like predominantly either bearish markets or bullish markets, can be in between, because the indifference in the markets always kills me. All of a sudden you're thinking one way and it goes the other way. So normally, if we have a bullish swing, I'll be bullish leveraged, and then I'll take some trades that way. And it usually you have a fairly higher success rate in trading when you're doing that than you're trying to time the market or whatever. But for me, overall, it's just swing trading. Longer time frames, longer time periods. Assessing the market that way. And plus, for me, over time, I found myself kind of like editing down all the tools that I have. So like I'll figure out what I like and dislike for the tools that I have in front of me, like different drawing tools on the chart itself, whether they're like fib circles or trading channels or fib lines or whatever. Just editing down all the tools that I have in front of me so that I can make a better decision. Because the thing is, over time, everyone has an idea of what trading looks like, right? The patterns, the formations, the fractals, what they look like, what they should look like. But it's the more you layer that information with other things, other factors, the harder it is to decipher whether or not it's a positive trade or a negative trade. So for me, just staying simple with all that I have in front of me. Moving averages like exponential moving averages. Volume, MACD, right? Sometimes I'll use volume weighted average price. Sometimes I'll do that depending on whether or not I'm intraday trading. But yeah, keeping things simple as possible because it can get so much convoluted over time.
Keep it simple, stupid, exactly. And you had mentioned that you try not to time the market. It's always better to have timing or time in the market. Now, you like the longer time frames. Crypto Cruiser, you are the opposite. I know that you like to trade on the shorter time frames.
I am definitely the opposite. I don't do a whole lot of trading, but when I do, I look at the mid-level RSI or look for a mid-level RSI, and I'll watch the patterns and see what they're doing. And primarily, I do very short-term trades, 1, 5, and 15-minute charts. But of course, I do look at the 1 hour chart to see the overall 1 hour and the date charts to see what the overall picture looks like. And then I'll jump in the very short term using the 1, 5, and 15-minute charts. Usually in and out, pretty quick trades. Try not to do anything long term. And that's when I do trade. I don't do a whole lot of it. Just because it's risky the way I do it.
Mm-hmm. And you got to have time to just sit there and concentrate.
Yes. That I do sit in front of my computer. When I sit down to do some trades, I might be sitting in front of my screens for a couple hours and just getting in and out, real quick trades. And sometimes it works, other times not so much.
I've seen you in a couple of your sessions, and it just amazes me how well it works. Actually, you're literally there, reverse, depending on where you're trading. I know we can't use Bybit anymore up here in Canada because it's been banned, but it seems to work for you, which is awesome. For me, Corby, you would know, and I'm sure Dip and Cruiser, you guys know, I'm a huge chart trader, charts and trend lines, or patterns and trend lines. Sorry. I like to use, the trend is your friend till the end. I use RSI, trends, MACD, volume. Those are the main ones. And then, of course, as Dip may mention when he goes, as kind of a confirmation, I will go to the market cipher on TradingView. It's really, if you're patient and I also do mid-level time frames. None of the 5 minute, 1 minute, 15 minute. I'm usually hour, 4 hour. But 9 times out of 10, those trends, they work, and the price reacts off them. So it's pretty basic. Once you've been looking at charts for a long time, as all of you can attest to, these patterns and stuff just kind of show up on the screen. You can just see them plain as day when you've seen so many charts as long as I have. Dip, what about yourself?
Well, me, I'm the conservative indicator trader. Like you just said, I like to use Market Cipher. It gives you a handful of indicators all at the same time. So you got your RSI and volume and cash flow and everything. And then
can you pull up your chart real quick, just so people can see what the Market Cipher is, if you have one handy. I don't know if you have it handy. Sorry to put you on the spot. I know a lot of guys aren't really sure what Market Cipher is.
Share screen.
It's an amazing indicator, and for those that don't know, one of the contestants on the Trader Wars that Jenna is involved in, his name is Crypto Face. Glenn thinks he's an idol, but he created this Market Cipher, and it's a pretty incredible tool, actually.
Yeah. So the Market Cipher here, just a quick run through. You got the upper purple red lines are your different RSIs. Right now I'm on the 4 hour. It'll switch with whatever the time frame is. Your green and red waves, that's your cash flow. The yellow waves, the VWAP, which is good for the way Crypto Cruiser likes to trade. If you're trading with it crossing up and down on a short time frame, it's usually pretty successful. Yeah, so it gives me all my indicators, and then you got your candle patterns and everything else. I think the biggest differential between my trading strategy and most is the very, very conservative when it comes to risk mitigation. So when I'm using leverage, it's usually a very low leverage, and I always have enough margin in my account to always drop all leverage on my trade to prevent getting liquidated or anything else. It gives you time to recover and before you cash out instead of taking losses. And that's been really successful for me. But yeah, this market cipher indicator's been a godsend as well.
Now, for those that don't know, I know Corby knows and probably Cruiser, but Chart, you probably don't know this one either. Last bull market, toward the end of the bull market, when we were heading into the bear, Mr. Dip put down a Bitcoin trade. He opened a position, and he held that sucker for how long was it?
It was from when we were down 50%. So I probably opened the trade around 30K on the downside into the bear market, not foreseeing the FTX and all that coming. But obviously the market went down another 50% from there. And I was able to actually earn a lot of Bitcoin just from funding fees, holding a long position in a short market. So, and then once it was up and I was in profit, I started taking my profits and scaling out of the trade and ended up well ahead for it. And that was over a year in that trade. So
I find that hilarious. It was kind of an oopsie trade, but yet you ended up coming out on top with that one. It's incredible.
Yeah, the market's, there's going to be your ups and downs, right? And it just depends on time. So I wasn't concerned about it. It sucks that it handcuffs you from other opportunities in between on that exchange. But it ends up working out well for you if you're patient. And I didn't get burnt like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty wild how much you get paid from those funding rates, like you experienced.
Yeah, because it looks like a small percentage, but when you're just accumulating every 8 hours, I think it is 8, 16, 24
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, it's just, and 24 hours a day. It's just like having a little Bitcoin printer sitting there. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, speaking of market cipher and indicators, I'll go around the panel as well. I wanted to ask if there are any indicators that you guys favor when you're looking to open trades. Juan, I'll start with you.
It's funny. I was just looking at the chart right now for my Forex, and I like to look at the Z-score. Getting that if you like to swing trade, is very helpful, but it's also can help as a great confluences for other indicators that you like to use. And by confluence, I mean the ability to match what you're thinking with a different indicator, so that way it's in alignment with other things. For those who may not know what that means, but it's very helpful not to just use like example when I started with the RSI. Not just to rely on that slowly. So the Z-score has been very helpful for me in identifying any reversal patterns that may be popping up. So definitely one that I recommend highly.
Interesting. Okay. What about yourself, Corby?
So it's not really an indicator, but it has been growing on me, but it's a complete pain in the ass to learn, and that's Elliott waves.
Yeah.
So it's super helpful. I mean, when you can find confluence between trends and patterns and then get your waves to line up with that, that's just that icing on the cake right there. when you know you're going to get into a good trade.
Got Ox in the chat saying hello. So hello, Ox.
Hey, Oxeria, how you doing, mister? Okay, Chart Davidson, what about you? Is there any favorite indicators you like to use?
For me, it's MACD, by far MACD. It's proven to be like, there's no actual leading indicators, but that's a serious indicator that will give me an edge over any other tool that I have. A lot of times when you look at MACD, for example, you can spot a whole bunch of head and shoulder patterns, divergences, convergences, pinches for the bulls, pinches for the bears. I mean, there's on and on you can go on with MACD, and you can set it on any time frame, essentially on any time frame. So if you're lever trading, you can put it on a minute scale and watch it curl. As soon as it starts curling for the bulls, bam, you can get into a trade right away. And same thing happens when crosses the horizon, goes up all the way to a peak, and then starts crossing for the bears, bam, put a short in. So that can be done on a minute scale. You flip it on a large scale, like a 1 day, weekly scale. All of a sudden now you can see macro trends form right in front of you. I spotted the bullish cross for Bitcoin on a monthly scale back in early, like I want to say January or February of 2023. So for me, like that's the biggest tool that I use. And like I guess Corey said, the most important thing about trading in general, finding patterns or whatever, is Elliott waves. That's one of the first things I've actually learned to become where I am today is Elliott wave theory and knowing the rules, knowing where price action will stop. I mean, one of the reasons why I call 48K is because I knew exactly where that 48K sits, right? It's in the Elliott wave pattern formation. It would be like the comeback wave and so on and so forth. But even with like 48 being the top, it's not the end all for Bitcoin, right? Because normally every retracement and the comeback wave is about 50%, right? And that's also part of the Elliott wave theory. And so, yeah, knowing the basics, that will be the Elliott wave theory, and then using the MACD as a main tool to figure out the trends in macro, micro setting.
Nice. Well, just like Corby, I'm not super familiar with them. I know a little bit, but nowhere near because there's so much to learn. Crypto Cruiser, what about yourself? Do you have any favorite indicators?
I can't say I do, to be honest. The way I trade,
Yeah,
I don't have any favorite or any one thing I favor over the others. I just kind of look at all the different aspects that drive my trading. I don't favor one over the other.
I guess when you're doing the 1 minute, you're basically just looking at the RSI, and when it does its thing, you make your trade. When it goes down, you get out.
Yeah, I've got my chart open right now on Apex, and if I'd have opened it 5 minutes ago, I'd have been in a long. On the 1 minute chart here, I got 7 or 8 minutes now, just going up. So
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, none favored. Just look at everything.
All right. For myself, if I had to choose other than the RSI, I like to use the EMAs, obviously the 200 EMA. That's one of my favorites. And, other than the market cipher and the different indicators on there, don't really have any favorites, I don't think. RSI, EMAs, my charting, and MACD. I do look at the MACD as well. It's on my chart. But that's really about it. What about you, Dip?
Hey, C. Oh, sorry, I was going to ask you something. CC, what about which ones you actually don't like? Because I don't like actually the RSI. Actually, I think RSI is a very conflicting indicator to use because, for example, you can have an overbought situation, hold overbought for a very long period of time, and you're thinking it's going to flip and never flips, or vice versa. When it's oversold, it could be oversold for longer periods of time, and you're hoping it to flip, and then there you go.
Yeah.
So
on the higher time frames, you're exactly right. It could stay in that overbought territory for a long time. It could stay over 70 for quite a while. But on the lower time frames, that seems to be where it's a little bit more volatile and it goes up and down, easier to use as an indicator. But anything over an hour, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's I mean, it kind of gives you an idea of how heated or under sold the or oversold the market is, but it's not really good for trading on the higher time frames. You're right about that. Sorry, Dip, about yourself? How about you?
Yeah, my favorite thing to watch would be follow the money flow and momentum. So wherever you're trending, and take into effect the money flow for a bullish or bearish determination, and I usually run off of that.
All right. We have one more guest I'm going to bring up, Ash the Dragon. Before I do, Chart, you asked which indicator I do not like. Probably the Elliott wave. And then there's all kinds of, like, one I do like as well is Fibonacci's. I'll use that on a lot of my charts. It's always on my charts because price action obviously rides those waves quite a lot, religiously. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Elliott waves, probably because I don't understand them. And when I see a lot of the guys using them in Corby's group on Telegram, Market Makers, sometimes I don't understand it. And I'm thinking that, a lot of the Elliott waves play out after the fact. It's not really in my view, it's not a leading indicator, but obviously I don't use them correctly. I don't know enough about them. So that would be the answer to that. I'm going to bring up Ashla.
Hey guys.
Hello, Ashla. How are you?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. The conversation is basically about trading strategies. I'm not familiar. Do you trade very often, or are you not much of a trader?
Oh, I actually am a pretty impressive manual trader. In fact, today alone, I had 2 trades to the profit. A position I held on the British pound for several days. So back to Corey's one about the RSI. I don't know if it was Corey or Chart that said something about it. It does have the weakness that was ascribed. It can stay in certain situations for too long. The thing that I did for instance, I opened up that position with the GBP USD a couple of days ago. I made the mistake of opening it. Yes, the RSI levels were at the right parameters, but I opened it at 10:30 in the night. But what I failed to account for was that nobody was, awake at 10:30 in the night. So it stayed in the red for several days until thankfully I was able to sell it today for a profit. But on the other hand, crypto doesn't really appear to have that weakness, but in a different way. Because I made about several $100s off Bitcoin today. I mean, the trade did. And I used the RH1 chart, the hour 1 chart, which was at 29 RSI. And it, exactly to my predictions, went up the way I thought it would. Every time Bitcoin has an abnormal volatility alert, it generally corrects to a fair extent in the other direction within a day. So, for instance, like today, it had an abnormal volatility, went down to 41K. It went up several $100s. I think to like 41.3, and that's where I sold it at. Juan, you have access to the account as well, so you'd be able to see the exact parameters if you wanted to. But, yeah, when it comes to trading, I like to think I'm actually pretty good manually trading, but I prefer EAs because the human emotion factor. Humans panic. Like hell, even the news bot that we're using. And while I made the right call in manually closing my position yesterday with it, it sets a bad, how do I say this? It sets a bad precedent that human intervention with an EA doesn't always work the way it should.
I've said that for a long time, that a lot of people trade on emotions, and I call them stupid traders because you get one little piece of bad news and the Bitcoin crashes a couple $1,000s, and it just makes me so angry because people can be so emotional. One of the other questions I asked Ashla, which I'll give you a chance to answer, is do you have any favorite indicators?
I've always been a softie for the RSI. Really, that's really my favorite indicator. I'll be honest with you. I'm simple, if nothing else.
Are there any you don't like?
No, actually, I really don't. All indicators are meant to help traders make money. So, by that definition, how can I not like something that's gonna help people make money? I mean, it sounds simple, but it's really not wrong. Like for instance, the Martingale Forex spot that I have, just don't trade it during red folder news, then you won't be in trouble. As long as you do something, that's basic advice. Don't use Martingale and red folder news. I don't, and the point I'm trying to make is when you're presented with advice, take it.
Good advice. Everyone should take it. Okay, I don't want to talk about trading and charts without getting a little bit of a read on the overall market and the Bitcoin chart from Mr. Jordan Davis.
I arrived a little late. Is Jenna still coming on, or was she already on?
No, she is not. It doesn't look like she's going to be here. I don't see her yet.
Okay.
no technical difficulties or whatever's going on.
Yeah,
But so we'll go through. I want to hear Chart's take on the current market, what he expects in the coming week or so on the overall market and Bitcoin.
So one of the things I look at on the daily scale is where is the price action compared to the EMAs, the daily EMAs, or sometimes even the weekly EMAs. And one of the EMAs that continually becomes a springboard for price action to the bullish side is the 200, right? 200 EMA.
Mhm.
Right now, it is at 35,000, okay, on the daily scale. So you can say, all right, well, two things can happen. One, we can dump straight there and then get this over with, right? Nuke the market, let us get a full reset, and then off we go, right? Or we can kind of let Bitcoin stay in this pocket, right? This, 38 and a half, 39 to 48 pocket for a period of time, maybe up until even the halving event, while every alt in the history of alts does a run. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is we actually hold this line right here at 41,000, and it has pretty much a similar structure that we had in 2020. I'll be honest with you. If you look at the run right after the COVID drop, which was in March of 2020, we had a similar structure for the recovery, right, which was wave 1 to wave 2, and the wave 3 blast off was at the point of October 2020, just around before the end of the year. And then you have 4 blasting fractals. So you had the first fractal up to about 20,000, second fractal to 41,000, third fractal to about 58,000, and then you had the last fractal at 64, right? Then we had this March drop. I think it's a March drop. Yeah, it's an April drop. So that's a correction within the same bull run year. Then you had the second try for the all-time high, which ended up resulting in a double top. Kind of skewed double top, but still a double top, right? So when it comes down to this formation, it's eerily similar to what we saw earlier, where we're essentially in our first pump, right? So the first fractal will be from, I guess it was 25,000 to about 48,000. The next fractal should take us to about 67, right? Back to all-time high, right? We reverse course for a little bit, and then we pump to the diagonal, right? That will be our first top. So I think the first top should be somewhere about 100,000, right? There's a lot of confluence around 104,000. So that could be a one top. But don't forget, on the larger scale, we're playing a slanted, like a skewed inverse head and shoulders. So the left shoulder was created in 2021. The right shoulder will be created in 2024. Okay. So any price action on the downside right now will be met with a lot of volume onto the upside, because I think people are just waiting for this bull run to start. And I think any hold for Bitcoin will be a confirmation for alts to get going, because they're so close. If you're looking at from the altcoin perspective, we have indicator called Total 3, which is essentially the full market cap of all the altcoins. And it is bullish as fuck. And there's so much room for growth. I know I spoke about this in our space today, but I said I think the altcoin market is going to eventually get to about 2 trillion in market cap by the end of this year. Now, it doesn't mean all of them are going to get there at the same time. It just means the entire market of all altcoins will take turns in, having their 5x's and 10x in valuation. All these other baskets of alts will have their moments in time, like 2 weeks at a time. Maybe like you'll see like a metaverse basket of projects go at the same time, balloon into some crazy valuation, and then they'll come down a little bit, allow other alts to do the same. So there's a lot of movement coming up pretty soon. The altcoin market looks really, really bullish. So we're just waiting for Bitcoin to stabilize. Until that, we're pretty bearish for the next 2 weeks.
Have you looked at ETH BTC lately? Because we just had that breakout on it.
Yeah, ETH BTC will lead the charge. I think whenever ETH actually gets going, and I think it's soon, we will have this breakout. Also, just waiting for that confirmation, right? That's all that they're waiting for, because as soon as ETH shows strength, it's on. And I've seen it way too many times to know that this is the way to go. And also look at Ethereum dominance chart. So the ETH.D, right? If that is actually going, then you know exactly what's going on. Because right now, it dumped from like September on, and finally found some strength in January 9th to be specific. So
I was referring to have you looked at the ETH BTC chart? That's the ticker.
I'll bring that up.
We lost you, Corby.
There we go. There's the ETH BTC chart. Oh, Corey wants to talk.
Weekly on it. Yeah, so we just finally are like starting to break that downtrend.
Oh yeah.
Zoom in there a bit, Dip. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a nice little pump from ETH in the last week.
Yeah, that was a good trend line hold. Yeah, that was a good trend line hold, because it was sitting on the trend line for a while, and I think people are just waiting for any strength in ETH versus Bitcoin. So any USD value strength versus Bitcoin.
And then what do you guys? That normally will trigger a bit of an alt run, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we're looking at total 3 charts. So if you want to pull up that chart, you'll see what I mean. It is almost fully reset. To me, the key indicator, again, like I spoke about it, is the MACD on the daily. If you look at the daily MACD, it's almost fully reset. What I mean by that is the 2 lines are close together, and they're reaching the horizon level. At that point, they have a chance to curl up or curl down, and I believe it's going to be a curl up. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Indeed, yeah. I don't know if this is kind of deviating from the topic a little bit, but we mentioned trading strategies earlier. I recently have begun looking into arbitrage. I'm not going to go into too much details, but let's just say what I've discovered, if it holds true, will leave me very, very pleased, because I may have stumbled onto a gold mine. What are your guys' thoughts about arbitrage?
It's too competitive, and unless you have 10 to 20K to throw at it to make $400 or $500, it's really hard to make money doing it.
Yeah, you have to be diligent at doing it. Speaking of arbitrage, I was actually mentioning to Dip yesterday that on the Solana chain, there's a token out. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Chart, I know you have. JITO, J-I-T-O. And it's supposed to help, for lack of a better term, stabilize price across DEXs on the Solana chain, which is kind of neat. I think it's going to be one of those ones to watch in this bull market. Real good use case.
The digital market maker.
Yeah. Did WIP just get, I think that got listed, the Solana meme coin, on Binance today.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I haven't looked at the chart. I'm still kind of sour about it. I had a buddy tell me about it at like 30K and didn't think anything of it.
Dip, I never mentioned this to you off stream, but you sent me a video, if you recall, on Twitter yesterday, and talking about the whole Ethereum and Vitalik and XRP. You remember that video you sent me?
Yeah.
Well, in that video at the end, the guy was mentioning a token that influencers were really highly touting, called CTF, Crypto Trading Fund. And so I did some research on it, and I thought, I'll throw a little bit in just to see what happens. Well, it did a 3x this morning. But
oh, really?
but as soon as it did the 3x, it dumped right back down to my entry.
So you didn't lose anything.
I didn't lose anything, but I'm actually going to. This is almost embarrassing to show, but I'm going to show it anyway. Not my position, but I'm going to show the the chart. Here it is. So here, as you can see this morning, it did a massive pump, and then just as soon, it dumped right back down.
So I just recently picked up, and I'm not really into meme coins, but It's Elephant. It's ELEFANT, and it's on Matic chain. And apparently the Polygon devs are backing the coin, but I mean the buys going into this meme coin, like people are dropping like $30,000-$40,000 buys right now into it. Wow. And it's at, I think 5 days after it launched, it was at like a $6 million market cap, and now it's sitting at 14, and people are still just accumulating like mad and giant buys.
Wow. Is it purely Ponzi-nomics based, or does it have a money-making mechanic?
It's just it's a meme coin.
Oh, that's surprising. That is surprising.
And it was odd enough where it was on Matic, and I'm like, I haven't seen a new project worth anything launch on Matic in forever. Like, I'll throw a couple $100 at it just to see what happens. So I'm up 2x on it. So I'm happy with that.
That is twice as much as you would have had otherwise. So yeah.
Yeah. But
we don't normally
see like $30,000 buys continuously coming in. I'm like,
that's bullish. Yeah.
I do not have a bag like that where I can put $30,000 into a meme coin.
That's
7 days old.
Like a little finger. Yeah. But nonetheless, though.
I was going to say, normally, we want to stick to the stuff that is legit, non-Ponzi, and not scammy. But I do kind of want to pick everyone's brain here, since we've got a couple of gentlemen that are in tune with the space. Do any of you have any kind of a high risk, higher play that you have on your radar? I'll start with Chart. You?
High risk tokens. Well,
not necessarily.
Here's the thing about any of those meme coins, right? It's honestly a crapshoot unless you're really dialed in. And what I mean by that, you got to use the right tools to do the filters right. Like, for example, I'll use Bird Eye for all of our SBL tokens, right? They're basically launching every single minute. And for you to find something that has good liquidity, good holders, good amount of holders, right? Has good volume and a good chart setup, there's like maybe one, maybe two. So by the time you find them, they're already at 10 million valuation, 50 million valuation. What are you going to do after that? Like, what kind of percentage jump are you expected to get from something like this, right? If you're looking for 10x, fantastic. Stick to it. Get out of it after the 10x. If you want more than that, then you're really risking next to nothing, right? Because then you're risking like $100. So it's like, is it great to find that dog with hat? Absolutely, right? But I'm personally not putting anything real into meme coins like that and banking on something being giving me 100x. I'd rather put something into more tangible assets, like real world assets that I find on CoinGecko that actually have real business models and business plans, and then trying to incentivize people to use the platform with tokens, or maybe these tokens are used for governance issues. So I'd rather do that. But hey, sure, I'll dabble in some meme coins or SPLs that I can throw $100 at. But like I remember somebody shilled me privately to buy into dog with hat at 1 cent. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. And so now that I checked yesterday, it was at 44 cents. So here we go. Right. I could have made $4,400 if I put in $100. So, you win, you lose, but at the end of the day, I don't want to play that high risk game all the time.
Yeah, I personally don't either. I mean, every now and then I'll dabble if something seems to be trending, or there's a lot of word in social media, but it hasn't moved yet. But not too often. But I mean, everyone, you're in crypto. Everyone's got to have a degen play every now and then.
When it comes to degen plays and high risk coins and the entire concept in general, if you're not in on day one or day two, you invest money you can't afford to lose, and you're not. And your expectations are greater than 2, maybe 3xing, even if you do everything right, then what are you doing? Because if I discover a random meme coin 10 days after launch and there's already $1 million in the book, or $1 million in like 10 million in the country, what the fuck? Why would I invest in that? What could I possibly make? The 1 out of 1,000 chance where I do 10, 50x and it goes parabolic, or the likelier scenario, I get shafted. Because hell, like I remember this YouTuber, the Wolf of YouTube, whatever the hell he called himself, would show a coin called Clifford Inu, the slogan "We retire early with Cliff." I haven't heard shit about Clifford Inu in years. Floki Inu, like I couldn't tell you. So
some people actually have a strategy where they will allocate. They'll give themselves say $1,000, and they will invest in 10 different meme coins. And if they hit on even just one of them, they could triple, quadruple, 10x their money very quickly.
Yeah, they can make that strategy. Yeah, no, and it could be a wise strategy, but the thing is, like, Glenn's laughing because statistically he probably knows that it's not going to work.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually laughing because as we're talking about this, I was seeing a news article that came out earlier today. I'll put it up. All the mega whales gobbling trillions of SHIB, a mind-blowing Shiba Inu price moonshot in view. I'm not gonna read it, but
have to bloody sorry, they'd have to gobble up 1,000 times what that article says they gobbled up probably to make a slight dent. Just there's the sheer amount of Shiba coins that were bloody made. One thing I've kind of
I'm a Shiba bull.
Oh, I am too. In my dreams, because realistically, it will never see a penny, never mind $1. But nonetheless, though, at the absolute best case is it sees 1/10 of a penny. That's the absolute best. It's shattered all expectations. It's second to none next to ETH and Bitcoin itself. All the moons, all the stars have been hit. Blah blah blah. The highest it could hit is 1/10 of a penny. Maybe not even that. But one thing I've always wanted to do, I just never decided to do it, was crypto mining. It's just, for instance, Shao, I don't know if you saw the Oxford chat. Shao was mentioning something about making 500 a day back in the day with miners. And
yeah, well, mining Bitcoin in your residence is not lucrative anymore.
Yeah, at all. That's the problem. Yeah, it isn't. You would need a rig, and it just, especially where I'm from, suburban fucking Michigan, it would be a pain in the ass.
And just so everyone knows, here's the updated Bitcoin halving countdown. We're down to 77 days. Estimated time of the halving, April 5th, 2024.
The question is...
closer.
What's that?
I said it's getting closer. We're going to probably dip below into that March timeframe soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. I know. I noticed that too because it was near the end of April a few weeks ago, and now it's to the beginning of April. Crypto Cruiser, I never asked you. Did you have any? I know you're not much of a meme coin buyer per se, but did you have anything on your radar? I know you were mentioning what was it, Kakinya or Kakinu, whatever that one was.
Yeah, no. I typically stay away from them. As much as I do watch them, I mean, other than, just like the rest of us who have SHIB and Dogecoin, I tend to stay away.
Okay.
As far as, dropping money into them, but I'm always watching them to see, what the next best thing might happen. I'm always interested in how some of them can really go parabolic in such a short time, but no, nothing I throw money at.
Okay. Quickly before we end the stream here or close things out. Now, last bull market, we saw Dogecoin, and I guess we can throw Shiba in there as well, emerge from meme coin soil pitness to legitimacy. Is there any meme coins that are out now or anything that's coming that you guys feel might actually do a crazy run and end up on the front page of the coin market cap rankings? Charles, I'll start with you.
It has to come from another chain, right? Because we've already seen the bonk run that came from Solana. It can be a Solana SPL meme, right? It can be an ETH meme because we've already seen Pepe and we saw all the other iterations of that. It has to come from other chain. Maybe it's an AVAX meme. Maybe it's a Matic meme. Maybe Sui or Say meme tokens that they produce over the time. So yeah, maybe be on the lookout for that rather than anything that's already happened before, right? Maybe like WIF, for example, that came out of Solana's Abyss, right? Yeah. So maybe that is something they could look at. But yeah, it's really difficult because again, it's just throwing darts on the board and hoping one of them actually hits bullseye. So
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll go to Juan next.
Yeah, I'm in line with what Charles has been saying. He's literally just throwing darts. It's probably just easier for someone who wants to get into the space to grab like 1,000, divide it into 10, and just put it into like 10 different things. And if two of them hits, that's it. I mean, you're golden. And if one hits, you break even. But you had fun during the process. I'm not a big meme type of guy. I don't look for those things. It's not my forte. I'm not a believer in the mechanics of it or the reasons for why we do it. But for those who enjoy that, the suspense, that's what I would tell people to do. Grab like 1,000, break it in 10, and if you get parabolic at any of them, you'll be a happy person.
Yeah, Ashley, you wanted to say something?
No, all I was going to say was, honest to God, I haven't even looked, so I'm not even going to answer.
Okay.
Well, I'm nothing. It's not. I haven't looked. I haven't cared to look.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to choose a coin either. But if I had to choose one, I'm a Solana Maxi. So I'm going to go with Myro. I think Myro is going to do some crazy things.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I would always suggest staying away from the meme coins, but it's always a good opportunity if you're way down on that list and you got new tokens coming out that you actually do like the utility of them. It's a good time to get invested real early and just let that bag sit and do that meme coin run with utility behind it so you don't lose in the end.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Meme coin and utility. I don't think those two words go together. But you know what?
I was talking new listing. You get the meme coin run.
Yes, meme coin season. Yeah, I mean, hey.
Yeah, but you don't get the loss at the end.
Is it too late to pick up some Safe Moon? I think we could pick up some Safe Moon, right?
Oh God, no! Don't. Anything from the last bull market, including SHIB, just rip it up, throw it in the garbage. But yeah, I've always been one that if I had an extra $20, yeah, what's the harm? Every now and then, not very often, but every now and then. Well, 8:07. I guess that concludes the stream. Dip, did you have any last words?
No, I just hope price action starts picking up again, and everyone can see some good gains in their wallets. And everyone like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
All I can suggest to everyone is make sure that if you are going to attempt doing trading, leverage trading, make sure you do your research, do paper trading. A lot of exchanges have paper trading where you can actually just kind of practice your craft, learn the indicators, learn the charts. It's very high risk and you can get wrecked real easy, especially if you're using leverage. So be patient, take your time, be smart, do your research, and learn what you're doing before you attempt to do it.
Of course.
Totally agree. It's a game of probability, guys. What's more likely than not to happen? And that's what the gamble is. Nothing is 100%. No matter how great you are, no one's ever going to say, I'm going to put $1 million on this bet because I know it's going to go up. It's just not going to happen.
No one actually knows.
At the end of the day, no one truly ever knows. And I would just recommend, whether you leverage or not, whatever trading method you use, for whatever reason you want to use it, just be sure to be careful and be sure not to trade with any money you can't afford to lose in your life.
Great advice. Great advice. All right, I guess that wraps it up. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Thank you to the panel for joining us every week. This has been a great stream. It's too bad we couldn't get Jenna's problem sorted out, but maybe we'll get her on another stream, different week.
Soon enough, God willing.
Yes. Thanks again. Everyone have a great night and take care. Be safe.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
Later.
See you guys next week.
JennaX.